Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be presenting a short presentation on regulatory system pertaining to biosafety in Bhutan. In the content, I have background information, overview of biosafety regulatory framework, biosafety legislation of Bhutan, institutional rules, testing facilities, and capacities. So in the background, I have Bhutan is actually sandwiched between very two giants, China and India. So we have a total area of 38,000 square kilometer, and we have a forest land coverage of 70.46%. And as for the National Statistical Bureau, we have a population of around 7,47,000 plus. And the capital city is Thimphu. So the government is a democratic constitutional monarchy. So we have a concern in the conservation of environment, and it is enshrined in the Constitution of Bhutan, which mandates that at least 60% of area should be under the forest cover. And as per the survey that has been conducted, our forest coverage is around 80.89%. That also includes the shrubs. And we have 51% of the land area under protected area, such as like sanctuaries and all. And we are one of the 10 global hotspots for the biodiversity. The agriculture sector, the population engaged in the agriculture is around 62%. So land under some form of agriculture is, because Bhutan is mostly a mountainous country, so we have around more than 2.9% of the land under cultivation. So biotechnology in Bhutan is quite new, so, but especially with the modern biotechnology is very, very new to Bhutan. So conventional biotechnological applications that we have been using is in a form of like plant and animal breeding, tissue cultures, and studies on the conservation of nature, soil, forest, and genetic resources. And the organization mostly involved in the conventional biotechnology applications are those with the seed centers, national breeding programs. This is with the Department of Livestock, a National Center for Animal Health, and also Renewable Natural Resources Research Centers. So Bhutan's approach to GMO, Bhutan has opted for actually a GMO-free strategy. Bhutan would actually allow the introduction of processed or semi-processed GM products that are incapable of reproduction and whose safety assessment has been conducted, and would restrict the introduction, release, and research involving GMOs. This is particularly because Bhutan don't have expertise to really carry out a thorough safety risk assessment by ourselves. Research involving development of GMO has been banned by the ministerial notification by the Minister of Agriculture and Forest in April 2011. The major concerns that we have is Bhutan is a mountainous country, and it has different flora and fauna. So we have to protect our pristine environment. And at the same time, we have to ensure the high level of human and animal health safety, and ensuring food security and meeting food self-sufficiency objectives and socio-economic impacts. So something background on the biosafety. In 1995, Bhutan became party to this CBD, Convention on Biological Diversity. And in 2002, Bhutan ratified to Cartagena Protocol on biosafety. So 2010 to 14, we were one of the country to receive UNFGF project, where we could develop laboratory part as well as human resource part. So these are the list of regulatory frameworks that is being followed. So in 2002, Ministerial Decree 2000, Cabinet Order has completely banned the GMO. Then we have also Biodiversity Act of Bhutan 2003, Food Act of Bhutan 2005, and then SIT Rules and Regulation 2006, National Biosafety Framework, National, this is Environment Protection Act, Constitution of Bhutan, Biosecurity Policy of Kingdom of Bhutan, Economic Development Policy of Bhutan, then Minister Notification 2011, which banned the research on the involving GMO, and finally we have Biosafety Act of Bhutan 2015. So biosafety legislation of Bhutan, it was enacted in 2015, May and July 2015, it was passed by the parliament. And commencement date was July 2015. So to have this act implemented, we also framed a biosafety rules and regulation, which was endorsed in August 2017 by our National Biosafety Board. And with their few comments included, it will be enacted soon. The scope of the Biosafety Act, it says it covers all genetically modified organisms, product derived from them, all stages of import, export, direct use of products that have genetically modified content within the kingdom. So exemptions are there, actually, traditional and domestic method of animal and plant breeding, traditional and domestic exchange and sales of local seeds, plants, and livestock, and gene sequencing, tissue culture, other similar methods, which actually do not involve modern biotechnology, and product derived from GMO for pharmaceuticals and human and veterinary use. So these are the prohibitions as per the Act: import, transit, intentional introduction, content use, research, and development of any GMOs and other genetically modified biological matter capable of reproducing. So this is how the administration of biosafety happens. We have a National Biosafety Board, and it is chaired by Minister of Agriculture and Forest. And BAFRA, we are the National Competent Authority, and under that we have a technical working group from different sectors of ministries and agencies. So this is the National Biosafety Board. So chairman is our minister, and in the green ones are the agencies under the Ministry of Agriculture and Forest. So BAFRA, we are the Secretariat, Department of Livestock, Department of Forest and Park Services, National Biodiversity Center, Department of Agriculture, and also below we have committee members from the other ministries like Ministry of Economic Affairs, Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Home and Cultural Affairs, National Environment Commission, then the BCCI representing the private sectors, and the Ministry of Health. Bhutan Agriculture and Food Regulatory Authority is the national competent authority for implementing Biosafety Act of Bhutan 2005. And BAFRA also function as the National Food Safety. On top of this, we also function as National Food Safety Control Agency. And we as a regulator also implement other related legal instruments under the Ministry of Agriculture, such as Plant Quarantine Act, Livestock Quarantine Act. And we are also a competent authority for the implementation of biosecurity measures. So technical working group, we have under the Act and under the rules and regulation, biosafety rules and regulation, we have a composition of technical experts from relevant agencies. And their main task is to advise the National Biosafety Board through BAFRA on the technical and scientific issues related to genetically modified organisms. So this is how application handling system is. So applicant will submit their application to the biosafety section of BAFRA, or BAFRA field offices in the districts can also submit. And we check for the completeness, application screening. If it is incomplete, we return it back within 30 days. And if it is complete, then the risk assessment process initiated by the technical working group, then public consultation, recommendations by TWG. Then we present it to National Biosafety Board, and the decision is communicated to the applicant. So we have also various guidelines to carry out a risk assessment. For feed and food, we have guidelines for risk assessment of food and feed products derived from GMO 2014, and this takes care of the genetically modified foods, feed, and GMOs for processing. So for environment, for low exposure scenario, illegal intentional release of GMOs, we have also guideline on the environmental risk assessment. Labeling of GM foods is compulsory. It is also enshrined in the Food Act of Bhutan 2005. So recently we have decided to have our threshold level at 5%. So testing facilities through the UNIFJEF project, we could purchase real-time PCR, and we are currently carrying out surveillance on GM elements like P35S, TINOS, and all those elements to know hands-on information regarding the availability of the GMOs in the market, because this is could be first kind of his surveillance. So we use, for now, we use EU method, specifically from the RICILT, which is from one of the EU reference lab in Netherlands. We have conducted GM element surveillance with test kit, and it is being completed. And for now, we have to look for the GM event detection, especially of the stack events. So thank you very much.